Right, I know I've got limited time, but
Right.
which colour do you want, Eddie?
Let's go red.
I like it. Look at this, I'm joined by the main man, Mr. Matchroom himself, Eddie Hearn. I'm so glad to see you. It's been a minute. I know you, like you said, you've just had, an hour's kip, and you're here, NXTGEN, London. Talk to us about that dedication.
Yeah, from Vegas, we had 2 shows last weekend, which was weird for us. Like, I don't really like doing it because I hate missing shows.
Okay.
But it was something different, 12 hours live broadcast consecutively, and good shows. Obviously, Nottingham, the drama with Connor Walker particularly, and Harry Scarf, and then a great show in Vegas with Andy Cruz, Diego Pacheco, Tito Mercado, Nishant Dev making his debut, Zachary Moses. Yeah, we're in a good place, and good little NXTGEN this Friday with 2 really good kind of main events. Junaid
Yeah, I
Boston
like that.
and George Liddard, both
Yeah.
10-0. Junaid going for the English title in a really tough fight, and George Liddard, who's looking really, really good. Jimmy Sains, Maisie Rose, Jesse Brandon, Taylor Bevan, look out for, really good. Giorgio Vizioli, Laylee Buttigieg in a really tough fight. In fact, like, this is quite an interesting one for the viewers because it'll be on before the bell. Do you remember the fight with Aaron Bowen in Birmingham? You know Aaron Bowen? Do you remember that 6-round absolute war? He got dropped.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Laylee Buttigieg is fighting
That opponent.
guy.
Okay.
Yeah, and
interesting.
Laylee's 19. Like, it's quite a big step up, actually. I'm looking forward to it. So I'm really excited. Obviously, we got this, and then we go into February. February 15th, Catterall, Barboza, and a really
not
big card
missing
in
that.
Manchester. And then, of course, 22nd, Riyadh for Bivol Beterbiev. And then we've got an announcement coming up about a show on the Friday. And then we're in Belfast for what will be 7,000 sold out. So, and then we're going to go, hopefully, Puerto Rico, Orlando,
Puerto Rico.
Sydney, which is more or less announced as well. Like, it's pretty much every week from Feb 15. So really excited, and particularly excited about the young stars we have coming through. I think we've got a brilliant crop, and I think it's a really interesting time because a lot of them are coming up to those big acid tests.
What I liked, and I know this is going back to when you was over in America, is the bond, the relationship that you're getting with Terrence Crawford.
Yeah.
I like that because it's, I don't know, it almost came across as like a love-hate. But now it's like he gets the banter, and it's a good relationship.
A lot
for
of
me.
people in boxing are sort of told about you. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, that Eddie Hearn, man, you don't want him, he's a bad guy, and it's like, I don't know why, but then you spend a bit of time with them. To be honest, it's a bit like with Shakur. Like, when we first signed him, it's a bit like, promoters. Yeah, well, I imagine a lot of people said to him, don't trust that Eddie Hearn. And then all of a sudden, you're like in camp with him, you're speaking to him a lot. We're working with some of his sort of close family in some respects, Zachary Moses, and he's like, they just drop their guard, and it's like a proper relationship. And that, for me, that's the best relationship to have with a fighter. One where there's that communication. I'm fine to deal with the manager, but I do like to have the relationship with the fighter because it makes you work harder and you want to deliver more. So it actually benefits the fighter as well. And Terrence is like, we're always going to have our back and forths. But I think I feel like I've done a lot for his profile, for our interactions.
Yeah, you have.
Because people get to see
a different side of him.
The real side to him.
Yeah.
Because I think he's quite guarded sometimes. Don't want to give too much away. And then when he drops his guard, he's just him. And he's a good character.
You got to help him with bring him over for the darts, because that's a little hidden talent.
I know
his,
he can play. Can't believe I chose that for a matchup. Yeah, I know. Of all the things, I was actually thinking, why didn't I choose golf? I bet he can't play golf.
Snooker.
Yeah, I know. He can probably play snooker, but yeah.
Yeah, we love it, and that is the thing with you. You're spreading yourself evenly, but thinly. With the world promotions, that's what I'm saying. It's like, how is Matchroom just juggling absolutely everything? You are all over the place.
Yeah.
Eddie, look, we're in our 40s. We're no spring chickens.
Yeah, I know.
you can say speak for yourself, but how do you cope with literally just travelling from country to country? You're talking about Australia, America, Saudi Arabia, UK, and you're all over the place.
Well, already this year, I've done Miami, Brisbane for the Opataya show, Middle East, Las Vegas, and that's like the first 3 weeks of the year. So it's a hot start, but I won't lie, it is getting a little bit harder. Do you know what I mean? And like last night, I got me whoop, and I slept an hour 40 minutes, and I was
Oh,
like,
no.
it was like 5:45 this morning, and I got into bed at like 1 o'clock, and I'm just sitting there, and then I'll go on my phone, and I'm trying to go to sleep, and it gets to like 5:45, and the alarm's set for 7:30, and it's like, and I'm chock-a-block all day. Do you know what I mean? But I don't know. I think it's just a mindset, really. Like, ultimately, you can get through it.
Okay.
There's a lot of people struggling a lot more than me. Do you know what I'm saying? So I think sometimes you got to look at it like that. I love what I do. Yes, it's tiring, but I have a massive passion for it. And, you know, I really like the development of young fighters, but I really like the international shows. That's a big passion of mine.
Do you think it's because that's like your baby?
It's
Remember
just never
when you
been done before.
Yeah.
So there's never been a UK promoter that's gone and done a major TV deal in America, firstly.
Yeah, and
Right?
now it's
Like, my
world.
dad couldn't do it.
Okay.
Frank Warren, never done it. You know, the other promoters in the UK, never done it. So what UK promoter has gone to Australia and ran consistent shows over there? January 8th, we're in Gold Coast. March 22nd, we're in Sydney. Now, what UK promoter has gone and does 6 shows a year in Mexico, or 4 shows a year in Puerto Rico, or events in Italy and Spain? So that's something that I think it's a real passion of mine, and I think it differentiates us from the rest, the ability to have a global schedule. And that's one of the reasons why we took the punt, I guess, originally with the Zone, which no longer looks like a punt,
No.
but at the time was a big punt, because it gave us the ability to have one broadcaster globally. Wherever we go, you know that our shows are on the Zone. And there's a lot more to do internationally.
Where else would you like to conquer then?
I don't know. I think
When I say conquer, bring on
Asia.
board with
Yeah, I think Asia's got a lot of
Japan. What about Japan?
Yeah, Japan. I think Germany was a big market for a long time. You know, when Klitschko was boxing there, RTL nights used to do huge numbers. So, you know, you said something earlier. You spread yourself thin. I do. And you got to be a little bit careful, because you can't take your eye off the ball. That's why you've got a great team of people that don't take the eye off the ball. And we're all riding the wave of Riyadh season. We don't know if that's going to last 6 months
True.
or 6 years or whatever. So we have to enjoy it while it's here, enjoy the shows. I know that His Excellency has a tremendous passion. He doesn't want to go anywhere. But life can change very quickly in a number of directions. So right now, I think boxing's in the greatest place it's ever been.
The momentum then that you've got, like you said, you can't necessarily guarantee what's going to be happening in 6 months, what's going to be happening with a year. So what is like Matchroom strategy to make sure, whatever the weather, whether you bank with them or
business,
not, absolutely.
And that's why you must never get complacent. And you must never get carried away. And we know that we need to deliver big UK shows. You know, we've got Castro Barboza coming up. We've got Donovan Crocker. We've got Ben Eubank. You know, we're in a good place. AJ will be returning soon. So we're in a good place. But at the same time, you can't try and compete with what Riyadh season are doing, because you're going to go skint. Do you know what I mean? So you've
still got to have your head about you when it comes to financials.
It's got to be the right business model, because that's, you know, we want great products. We want great fight nights, but we want to make money, and we have to. That's how I'm judged. That's, you know, you're judged on how your channel's doing, the numbers. I'm judged on my numbers. You know, I've got an old man who's looking down at me, whether he's looking down at me from earth or heaven. You know, soon, who knows where it'll be.
Don't be too harsh.
No, but and I have a responsibility to run the business in the right fashion. And, you know, me and Frank Smith are a good team, because I have a massive passion for boxing, and he has a massive passion for the numbers.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Good balance.
So I will always want to overspend on the show in terms of the fights, whereas he's not a boxing guy. Do you know what I mean? So he doesn't really care too much, as long as it's a good product and the production's good and the crowd's good. Whereas I'm like, no, I look at the card and go, no, I want more. I need more, because I'm sitting there and I'm paying for it, and I want to watch a great night.
Investing in the fighters, then making sure that you've got the right investment, the right fighters. I have said that you've probably signed more non-UK fighters because, like you said, you're building a global stage for your fighters. Sometimes us Brits, and I'm one of the first thinking, well, why isn't Matchroom signing that many UK fighters? But you're talking about, which you've just explained, is the sustainability, the business
and
model
also
of Matchroom,
what
the
you
brand.
can offer them. You know, like we've got people that are headlining, obviously Conor Benn, Jack Catterall, Dalton Smith. Now Galal Yafai is going to step up, start fighting for world championships. You've got our female fighters as well, whether that's Katie Taylor, so we're happy with our UK talent. The biggest job to do is bringing that next level up. So guys like Dalton Smith, the next fight for Dalton Smith has got to be a major global name at Sheffield Arena. And that's your breakthrough fight before you go fight for the world title. Do you know what I mean? So I'm very happy with our numbers. Of course, in America, I think our stable is incredible. Jesse Rodriguez, Shakur Stevenson, Jaron Ennis, Diego Pacheco, Edgar Berlanga.
Beautiful performance
Richardson
from Diego.
Hitchens, world champion. And then outside of that, you've got Australia now. Jai Opataya, George Kambosos, Sky Nicholson, Justice Honey.
Terra Moulder,
yeah, I know. Everyone's talking about him,
Wow.
So
him and Moses in the future is the
great
fight that I
He's a
see. In the
serious
future,
fighter.
though.
Yeah.
In the future.
Yeah, serious fight. We're a bit behind Moses with Terramana. He's had 6 fights, but 4 of those were pre kind of Olympic cycle, and they were a bit low level. So he's 6-0, but we've got a bit of work to do.
But it's good to see that you're building him. Diego Pacheco as well. What a beautiful performance from him. The thing that you've done with him from the beginning, Eddie, is you've always put him in testing fights, and he's always come out the other side. I like when I look at a fighter, how you built him. I love the way you build him. His fight that he just had against a really durable
fight, and also he's 23.
Oh, I keep forgetting he's a baby, isn't he? Isn't he the youngest fighter that you signed, Eddie?
We signed him at 17. Yeah, 17. So we debuted him in Mexico for a couple of fights till he turned 18. But he's close now to those big fights, and he's good. He's looking good.
Final words from yourself then. You mentioned there, your little snocket in there about Anthony Joshua returning soon. Have you got anything else that you can...
It's going to be interesting because...
Really?
We're going to fight, right? And sooner or later, obviously boxed at the end of September. Yep. So sooner or later, he's going to return. Anywhere between May and July. He's going to fight twice this year, probably. That's it. So who's he going to be? Is Fury going to come out of retirement? Are we going to fight the winner of Parker against Dubois?
Nice.
Deontay Wilder's been talked about. There's jeopardy there if Wilder comes back and gets a win. I know Bakoli in Africa.
Who would
Zhang
you want?
Kabir.
If you could choose, I know it's going to be Fury.
But forgetting Fury for now, I would always want him to fight for the world title and that's really what he wants more than anything.
3 times.
You hear some stuff like, I watch that Talk Sport show sometimes, only really the clips with Simon Jordan and Spencer Oliver, and it makes me laugh because Spencer Oliver's really backs AJ, he loves him, and obviously Simon just goes against the grain all the time, and they're like, AJ doesn't want to fight Dubois. It's like, of course you got to understand, a fighter will fight anyone. There's no fighter, and this is where Simon doesn't really understand. And by the way, AJ is 100% a decision maker. You're very naive if you think I make the decisions, and I go, right, AJ, just to let you know, next fight you're fighting this bloke. He takes everybody's advice, and he's the ultimate decision maker. He wants to fight Daniel Dubois. Every fighter would want to avenge the rematch.
Back.
Don't doubt AJ when, look at the history. He got knocked out or stopped by Andy Ruiz. Everyone went, you need to come back, confidence builder, straight back in with him. He got beat by Usyk. Straight back. Everyone went, don't fight him again, terrible style. Straight back in. It's not a problem to rematch Daniel Dubois, but you've got to be ready. And he wasn't ready for February 22nd.
Which you've said several times.
He will be ready for the winner. And don't doubt him. He will fight anybody. Even the Bakoli fight. Bakoli's a good fighter. That's a tough fight. And he's not a big name. So and people are going, why would you fight Bakoli? He goes, I'll say, because AJ fancies the fight. That's it. And when he called him out, I think he sort of went, right, if I can, let's go.
Let's go.
Zhang Kabir winner, another great fight. But he's going to fight. So let's see who it is.
Well, listen, it's been a pleasure. Welcome back to the UK.
Thank you.
I better let you go to your media duties. I'm getting the eye, but always a pleasure.
Thanks.
And I'll speak to you soon.
See you soon.
People say I'm toxic, and honestly, I don't care.